So,
Hi, this is David Perdue from MyNAMS.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System, and this is the MyNAMS Insiders Group. And we're talking to some of our active insiders, people who have been around a little while or who are accomplishing things with their businesses and using our challenges and our structure to help them do that. We're trying to talk to them a little bit about their businesses and figure out what's going on with them and their business and how we can help them and have helped them even more. So today we have Adrienne Hew. And Adrienne has been an insider, it looks like, for about 8 months now. Is that right, Adrienne?
yep, that's right. Right around New Year's, I signed up.
And you, where would you say you are in the NAMS structure, the 100, 200, 300, and 400 group?
I think I'm a little bit everywhere, because probably between the 200 and the 400, because I was a little bit thrown into internet marketing, you know, and you get different information from different people. Some give you more, some give you less, and so I find that, you know, there's parts that don't apply to me in the 200, but there's more things that I can get from the 300, but then there's certain things that are just a little over my head, you know, and I have to kind of go back. So, you know, I'm somewhere a little bit across the continuum.
Well, and that's the way we try to, I mean, we really do try to make sure that people get whatever they need, wherever they need it, although we try to keep them in a track too so that they move forward. So what kind of business are you in now?
Well, right now, okay, I am a nutritionist by trade.
Oh.
And one of the things that, I'm just going to give you a little bit of backstory, one of the things that I've found most difficult being a nutritionist is that there's a lot of mommy bloggers, and I don't have nothing against them, but I have, you know, there's a lot of mommy bloggers, a lot of people who, you know, oh, this diet worked for me, I'm going to start a, you know, business around it. And for me, I feel like I have other things to bring to the table that are not so cut and dry. Because I have the science background, because I have the experience of what's actually happening with people. So, you know, where a lot of people might focus on weight loss, I'm focusing on, okay, why don't we just wipe the slate clean and just give ourselves a baseline, and then we'll figure out what's wrong with your body and why either you're gaining weight or you've got joint pain or whatever the problem is.
Cool. So you attack that from a nutritional standpoint, though.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. As a matter of fact, I have someone right now who, you know, she was doing all the gluten-free diets and all of this stuff, and so I took her off of everything pretty much. I gave her just like a massive flush, and then we started from baseline. She's like, I have no inflammation. And so we, you know, we went through the process with her, and she said, and, you know, she's like, wow, I'm like, nothing, no swelling. I've lost 30 pounds in, you know, a month, and like just all of this stuff is going on. And she's not starving herself. She's totally eating, you know, and she's eating all the wrong foods. And she's losing all this weight, and you know, we're looking at her stuff, and I said, you said buckwheat was a problem, right? And buckwheat is one of the non-gluten grains that a lot of people will eat when they go gluten-free. Well, it turns out that buckwheat, along with basically all the green leafy vegetables that she was eating, were causing her inflammation. Sure. So, you know, so it's such a, you know, like a lot of people, they just want to kind of jump into something, and my message is so different that I had to find a different way of getting to people and to kind of be heard above the din.
So is that what drove you online?
Yeah, well, I had, at the time when I started online a while ago, and it's, you know, I've been kind of feeling my way around. I'll give you another backstory. When I started online, I signed up for quite an expensive course with a woman who, you know, really billed herself as knowing what she was doing, and she can help me build my business online, and she had the information and whatever, blah, blah. She gave such sparse information to the people in this group, and, you know, $6,000 later, nobody had a business up and running.
Ooh,
and I was one of the few who actually went through all the steps, and, you know, you would ask questions and you would never really get an answer that, as a novice, you could understand.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, you know, it was just like pulling teeth trying to get information. Then she's trying to sell me on an upsell. You know, she's trying to sell me a more expensive course. And I'm like, I haven't even made money with your first course. Are you crazy?
Okay, well, now I'm a little nervous to ask you how NAMS is working out for you.
Well, see, first of all, NAMS is more reasonable for the average person's budget.
Right.
You know, there's not, like, what I love about it is that there's not only, like we talked about, the 100, 200, 300, and 400 sections where you can kind of figure out where you fit in, but there's also support. There's you, there's your assistants, there's people in the Facebook group. You know, you're not just left to fend for yourself once you're in.
Right. Right.
And,
well, you know, that's the whole reason we built the challenges, by the way. I mean,
right.
By the way, before we get into the challenges piece of it, where can people find you?
You can find me, well, for my nutritional work, you can find me on adriennehew.com.
Okay.
Nutritionheretic.com, and then you can find my nutrition books, and also I am coaching some people in how to publish their own books in their own ways at adriennehew.com.
Okay, cool. So the challenges that we set up, we set those up in a step-by-step manner so that we can get people moving a little bit at a time toward a strategic goal. And that strategic goal is basically to learn how to do something, whether it is YouTube marketing or content creation or outsourcing. How have those worked for you so far? And have you noticed how we're doing them differently now with our step-by-step video?
Yes, I have to admit I have not done all of them. I've only done, I believe I've done 2.
Right.
And they've helped me because one of the ones that I did was on mind mapping my business.
Right.
What do I want to do and what do I want to outsource and how that whole matrix looks. And what really helped me with that is I realized how much I had been taking on. How many things that I didn't necessarily, even all these years later, all the social media, this and that, whatever, there's only so many things you can be an expert in.
Yeah, see, and I think one of the things I've learned is the successful business is about subtraction, not addition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, there's another there's another saying that I really like. Since when is the answer to overwhelm more? and a lot of people get overwhelmed and then they just start buying more courses. And it's
That's
like,
right.
no, don't buy more courses. You're already overwhelmed. So
tell me about why you joined this and how it is impacting your business in some way.
Well, I joined because I took a look around me, and I'm not going to name any names, but we talked about before we came on here. We talked about another group, and but there's a lot of internet marketing groups out there, and websites and forums and stuff like that. And this was the only one that I could actually say, hey, there's actually people making money in this one, and they're not ripping anyone off to do it, because there's a lot of them, and people kind of talk out both sides of their mouth. They're renting a Ferrari and driving around and pretending it's theirs, and so that they can get to buy their stuff. And I found that this was a much more down-to-earth group of people. People who were not afraid to roll up their sleeves. And yeah, it was. And actually, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think you have a higher percentage of female entrepreneurs who are doing well.
And more mature, as a matter of fact. I think it was 85% of our group is over 45 years old.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it was 65 or 66% was female. So we do.
Yeah. Yeah. So and that really appealed to me because women definitely have a different sense of business. Mm-hmm. I find that when women go into business in a way that some of the other forums promote, I hate to say it, but they tend to be less ethical.
Well, and what I'll say about women is and that I've noticed, and I don't think it's just women actually. I think what we do is attract people who are serious about business, and they're serious about doing business in an ethical way, as you said. And so that's really important, I think. Right. But I do agree with you. I think that the age group, the gender, and it's not just that we have people over 45, because we have a lot of people younger. It's just kind of the mindset that people have. And if you are serious about the business and you're serious about doing things the right way and you're serious about building value and integrity, we attract those people. So that's and by the way, it's not me. It is the instructors that we bring in and the quality of students that we bring in, and we've had a lot of people on these interviews who reflect that value system, and I really, really appreciate that because it helps me build the kind of system I want to be part of, and that's what I started with this, was building something that I wanted to be part of.
Right. Well, you should be proud of that because not everybody's building it that way, and I have to say that I'm not anti-woman because I am a woman. It's just that I have noticed in certain circles that women who get into business often conduct business in the way that they believe men are conducting business.
Yeah, it's tough to try to replicate that testosterone-driven business.
Yeah, exactly, and so that's when they end up being called a bee and all that stuff, is because they're trying to wear the pants. And I'm not saying that all women in business are like that, but this is just I've worked under a lot a women. I told you the first person I dealt with internet marketing was a woman,
Sure.
and
so
there was
how have you found the people to be in the MyNAMS Facebook group, the private group?
Sorry.
How have you found the people in the MyNAMS Facebook group to be?
Oh, they're very supportive. I have seen there's no cross-selling. I mean, there's definitely people in there. Oh, this is what my product is. Can you give me feedback? And we're all happy to give feedback to one another. It's not. There's definitely no backbiting. I'm in other Skype groups and Facebook groups. And every once in a while, you just get, somebody who basically needs to be thrown out. I don't think I've ever seen a disparaging comment between anyone in the NAMS group.
No, you won't either, because I kind of jump on that as fast as possible and make it very clear. In fact, people will get nasty grams if that happens, and that doesn't happen very often. But if it does, I'm pretty quick to nip that in the bud. So. Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't observed any at all.
Well, good. So, is there anything specific about the group that you would like to point out for people? A big benefit for yourself?
Well, for me, one of the big benefits is that the connections.
Okay.
Through the group, I was introduced to Joel Comm, and I got an opportunity to be part of his book that's coming out in just a couple days, right?
Yeah, right. A few weeks, a couple weeks.
Yeah, I would have never. I mean, maybe I would have run into him at a conference at some point, and I would have kind of pulled the Ralph Cramden, hamana. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you. but other than that, I mean, I think that was probably one of the most valuable things, and even just being invited to this hangout.
Well, and one of the things too, also that since you brought it up, and I'll point it out, is that. The connections you make are with the instructors that we bring in, and we very, very seldom. We've got 120 instructors plus, 120 plus instructors, and when they hang around, and most of them do, and most of them actually come into the Facebook group occasionally and contribute. When they hang around, they are approachable and engaging, so they don't have any issues connecting with people because they understand that business is a relationship. So that's the
Absolutely. Deal. And sorry, I'm going to just interject here. You brought up something that has been kind of like getting under my skin a little bit. With some of the other sometimes when you go, like I know when I've met you at at 2 events, I think, and sometimes you meet people who are where you want to be.
Yeah.
And you engage. You try to engage them in conversation. Maybe you'll ask for, can you, do you have any tips on this or something like that? And they act like they can't talk to you because you just want something from me. And one of the things that has really occurred to me over the years is that people who are truly a success will never begrudge someone else trying to get a leg up.
That's right.
And I have not seen people in this group begrudge anyone else becoming a success.
No. So, in fact, our goal is that everybody becomes a success. So
right. And I've been to other events where somebody's like, oh, you should go talk to that person. They do something like you, and they'll totally help you. And I go over and I talk to the person, and one guy literally, he was shorter than me, and he looked over my head. And I was like, how the heck did you do that? I was like, really? And I wasn't even asking him for anything. I was just like, hey, I bought your product. I thought it was good. And the dude looked straight past me because he wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that stuff going on out there, and like I said, I just haven't seen it in this group.
Well, I'm glad you think this is a safe place. So that's great. So thanks for being here today, and I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you inviting me here.
Sure. We will do it again sometime. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Take care.